The Big Light presents
Welcome to the Self-Guided Travel Podcast, where we take you on some of the world's most spectacular self-guided hiking and biking vacations. I'm Arlette Godges, and in this season, I'm traveling on a max adventure along Scotland's famous 96-mile-long distance trail, the West Highland Way. Walk with me over the hills, through the woodlands, and alongside lochs. Listen to the sounds of Scotland and hear the stories of the people I meet. This is the best way to explore the world. This is active travel, led by you. Today I'll be walking from Arrochar to Inverarnon. I'll be walking all the way up beyond the northern tip of Loch Lomond, and on the way I'll be trying forest bathing, searching for the outlaw Rob Roy's cave, and wrapping up my day at one of the most haunted inns in Scotland. Stayed in the Arrowden Hotel last night and woke up greeted by sunshine through my little window in my bedroom. And after an amazing breakfast, I have to say, better croissants than in France, I got my day pack and I'm on my way, just kind of cruising up the road, and had a bit of a chat with 4 people from Switzerland, so that was fun. And then went by one of the little honest boxes, which is basically a structure a little bit bigger than a phone booth. It has some drinks in it and some snacks in it and some baked goods actually in this one, and you just take what you want and you put some money in there. I'm quite set, so I don't need anything, but it was fun to take a picture of and see that this is happening. It was a little bit tricky getting out of town back on the path, and at the cross section where I was standing there were a few other people, and they were looking at maps and they were looking at books and they were talking, and I just pulled up my phone, whipped out my app, and there it was, and I had all the information everybody would ever want. I had everything from the weather to highlights to where to stop to how far we were going. And it was really quite interesting to see how Max Adventure had me prepared and how my little route was moving me along exactly where I was. So that was awesome. And everybody was so super impressed and just thought that was fabulous and asked me about other things that were on the app and what to be expected today. And we were on our way. Part of what really appealed to me about this adventure is the positive impact I thought it might have on my well-being. I find walking so therapeutic. It is so rhythmic, and you tune into the nature around you. And this walk has that in bucket loads. Walking along the side of Loch Lomond, I'm surrounded by amazing old oak trees, and I'm going to have a go at forest bathing. Originally a Japanese practice called Shinrin-yoku, people all over the world are now understanding the many benefits of slowing down among the trees. From reducing blood pressure to accelerating recovery from illness or trauma, research has revealed so many benefits of forest bathing. We even know that simply hugging a tree releases oxytocin, so I'm going to go ahead and give that a try. Many trees available. So my mothy forest turned into a really narrow, gorgeous, very smooth hiking path along Loch Lomond, and the views are just spectacular. I've been without any people anywhere around me for quite a while, about 45 minutes, and so I think I'm going to go sit on a rock and do some breathing because it just seems like the thing to do here, to just kind of sit and meditate for a minute. So let you know how that goes. So this rock overlooking the loch and the water splashing up against the shore in a very rhythmical way. And I sat here for a bit, and it just moved me to just do some breathing and a little bit of meditation. And I want to talk about breathing. What people don't know is it boosts your immune system, it decreases your blood pressure, it can improve your sleep, it improves digestion, it helps with pain management. Anyone who's ever birthed a baby knows that. It just improves your general well-being because it oxygenates your cells, and that helps them be metabolically sound. So I'm a big believer in breathing. I use it with my patients. I use it with my clients. I use it when I teach yoga. I do it myself. And my favorite, and the one I teach most, is box breathing because it's just so super easy. You basically start with a count of 2 on the inhale, you hold it for a count of 2, and you exhale on a count of 2. And then, if that goes really well, for about 8 rounds, you go to 4. And you probably stay with that for a session. But then over time, you build it to 6 and 8, and it's extremely relaxing. And to do it in an environment like this is extra helpful because it's just so soothing and just incredible. But even if you're not in this beautiful environment, close your eyes and imagine you're in a beautiful place, and you can do it in your office in a busy city, and it's extremely effective as well. Rob Roy was a cattle drover. He was an outlaw and folk hero who was around during the 17th and 18th century. Now, this part of the walk is quite fun because I'm on the hunt for the cave that supposedly he hid out in while he was on the run for treason, banditry, and theft. I did search for the cave, but to no avail. It's certainly a good hideout spot, as it seems to have evaded me, but if any of the listeners manage to find it on their way, do get in touch. I'd love to hear about it. Okay, I just got to the end of my hike. It was 24 kilometers. The last 10 kilometers took me 3.5 hours, and I was moving. It was quite spectacular on all levels. Very challenging, very technical. I'm not sure I would have been able to do it without my hiking poles. Stunning views. It was just a stunning day. Challenging, but stunning. All in all, it took me 7 hours and 52 minutes to finish. I have channeled my inner child today. I got to stomp in puddles and mud, lots and lots and lots of mud, which was quite fun. At first you try to walk around it, and then after a while you just go, you know what? I'm just going to walk right through that mud and I'm fine. I also walked over branches and lots of boulders, and there were some steps and there were some ladders and all kinds of obstacles along my way today that made it just super fun and challenging and rewarding. So I'm feeling quite accomplished tonight. You don't get to do that every day. Really, really fun. And now I'm headed to go meet the sound guy, Lawrence, at a haunted inn for dinner. And I'm looking forward to having a beer, I think. It's time for me to have that beer that I did not have at lunch. So I just got into the Drover's Inn after a pretty challenging day of hiking, about 7 3/4 hours of a lot of fun. And I just got myself a pint of lager, and I'm about to take my first sip, and I cannot wait. Oh man, that tastes really good. I might have to have another one. After that most perfect and well-deserved pint, I headed inside to meet Care. Oh, wow. Just walked into the lobby and I'm seeing some interesting taxidermy and some other artifacts on the wall. There's a bear in a kilt. There's a two-headed lamb. And there's penguins. And there's a lot of other... Oh, there's a fish and an alligator. So, I spot Kerr, and he's going to tell me a whole lot more about the Drover's Inn.
Hi, I'm Kerr from the Drover's Inn.
I'm wondering how it got its name.
200 years out of the 300-year history, most of the people using it would be as a way stop on the West Highland Way, same as now, but it'd be cattle drovers or sometimes sheep drovers, the folks that would be moving the livestock from the north of Scotland down to the cattle markets in Glasgow where there was the money to buy them.
So today I was hiking and I was trying to spot Rob Roy's cave. I had been reading about that, and he was sort of a outlaw that was in the area.
Sort of infamous sort of cattle rustler, and a bit a sort of well-liked one for who he was stealing from and where the money was going, that kind of thing. But apparently used to come in every so often. So when the king had decided to send men to try and catch him, 10 soldiers are sent up. He hears that they're here, comes into the inn in the night. He kills one of them, robs all 10 of them, disappears into the night with their money, is never seen again.
Oh my goodness.
And they have to go back, no Rob Roy, no money, and where's the other one?
This is quite the room. There's a few taxidermy stags in this room, and there's a really odd thing over there. What would that be?
That would be the old Blue Nile buffalo there. In the 1930s, I believe. A couple of owners around that time got very sort of excited about taxidermy and skulls and stuff, so we got a lot of local things like the deer, but a lot of interesting wee pieces from all over the place,
Looking at these stags, it's kind of funny because some look like they've had a bit of a sad life. Some look like, that one kind of belongs like in a band or something. It's sort of like the good old boy. And then over there is a very serious looking one. A long time ago, I ended up in an Airbnb in Maine, and it was owned by a taxidermist, which we did not know. And so it was a bit funny, but we got a whole spiel on that. And the eyes are a big deal. And I'm seeing that here because the eyes really give these animals a certain personality. So we talked about the taxidermy and dead animals that are on the wall, but I do hear that this place is a bit haunted and there might be some other people hanging around and showing up every once in a while.
Oh, only sort of 5 or 6, I think, They've got a couple of sort of quite famous ones. The best one to start with would be wee Annabelle. Not quite sure exactly how she ends up down by the river by herself. She falls in and is sort of pulled out. She's sort of half drowned, she's very cold, it's the middle of winter. Everyone from the village has gone out, all the drovers and stuff that were staying in the inn at the time have gone and sort of helped try and find her. They've pulled her out, they've taken her up the stairs into what's now room 6, trying to kind of keep her warm and all that, and she died during the night in that room. And people still now, it's a regular thing, where people will be coming in at breakfast and they'll be saying that they felt somebody in the room, or the common one is that in the bed there was a sort of cold body next to them. And I've heard people myself run screaming out of the building in the middle of the night and go and sleep in their car the rest of the evening because they won't go back in there.
Oh my goodness.
I was never too convinced by ghosts. I'm getting that way up here, The one that I've never really been able to work out, nobody really seems to know, but the way that it appears is great, is in the bar, there's a table just by the bar in the corner. People will be sitting there, they'll take a photo, and then they'll see, why is this old guy sat in the picture that obviously they've no seen in the room? And there's people showing me like old like Polaroids and stuff from like back in like the 70s, 80s of this guy sitting there, and people show me on like digital cameras, and it's the same guy. But he's just sort of always lurking about in that corner.
He probably wants another pint.
Don't we all?
Now I know what a drover is, and I know all this really fun history. Super excited about that. Tonight I'm having dinner here. What's on the menu?
Obviously, while you're in Scotland, you have to try a haggis. All of ours are locally caught from the bottom of Ben Lomond there. We've actually got one taxidermied out in the lobby for you to see what they look like. They've got legs shorter on one side than the other, They run round at the tops of the hills, but then every so often they'll get confused, they'll turn round, and they're obviously, because their legs can't match the slope anymore, they fall down.
Carl, thanks so much for showing me around the Drovers Inn. It was absolutely amazing and a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure for myself, likewise. Always good to show people the madness that I'm living with.
In my hotel room and showered, and it feels so good. And listening to the rain outside. So it's raining again. And I think it's been really lucky for me because mostly, except for day one, it's been raining at night and then it's been gorgeous in the morning. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that that will happen again tonight. I went to the Drovers Inn, learned about what Drovers means, learned about why this inn is still standing after 300 years in pretty much its authentic version. It's remarkable. They have had an add-on to it, but the add-on is 200 years old. That was lovely. Then went to our hotel, and I have to laugh because I'm sitting here in the room, and it's the most ostentatious room in Scotland, I believe. An incredibly comfortable bed that is enormous. It could probably sleep 6 people. And the view is astonishing onto Loch Lomond. And it's got this huge copper bathtub in it that's just kind of perched up in front of the window. So I look forward to tomorrow, breakfast at 8 o'clock, and another full day of hiking ahead. Tomorrow, and in episode 3, I'll be walking from Inveronne to Tindrum. I'll be swimming in cold water, thinking about the wellness benefits of trips like this, and discovering some more of the myths and legends along the way. Thanks for joining me on my Max adventure along the West Highland Way. You've been listening to the self-guided travel podcast with me, Arlette Godges. Max Adventure has hundreds of hiking and biking trips worldwide. To find out more, head to the website at maxadventure.com. That's MACS adventure.com. If you enjoyed listening, please rate, review, and subscribe so you'll never miss an episode. And even better, share it with your friends. We love hearing what you've got to say, so get in touch via the Max Adventure socials to tell us about a trip you'd like to do or you'd love to hear about next. We're all ears.
From the Big Light Studio.